You know, every morning I wake up, I look at the news and I try to keep up with things going on, and it blows my mind, it baffles me that we deal with some of the things that we deal with here in America. Today we're going to be discussing that. There was a Secret Service bust on a situation that could have crippled America. Wait till you hear this story. This was broken yesterday and no one is talking about it, but think about the vulnerabilities it would put us in. We're going to discuss that. Also, we're going to talk about how Trump, he talked about Antifa being a terror group. They're holding people in a building wrapped around a federal building, making barricades to where people can't get out or they have to find other ways out. This group is causing harm to other Americans. This is not right, and we should handle this situation like that. Sad thing is, you're in a liberal city with a liberal state that does not like Trump. Also, we're going to talk about the Tylenol thing. It's going to blow your mind that now you have pregnant women going on TikTok taking Tylenol by the handfuls, kind of like Kennedy was doing the other day when RFK said don't do this anymore, and his sister went out there and started getting all these in. People have lost their mind. I'm going to prove it, because something Tylenol shared in 2017 actually proves that Trump and RFK is right. This is mind-blowing. And then wait till you hear what this other doctor broke his silence and actually probably will get in trouble for it, but wait till you hear what he said about the flu. It's going to blow your mind. And you keep getting all these things in your arm, you just put yourself on a ticking time bomb. Wait till you hear the story that this doctor says. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the UN. The UN messes up the escalator, messes up the teleprompters. Trump has to just kind of wing it. I think this was something against Trump. Why don't we just get rid of the UN and tell them to get out of our nation? They have their home here, and all they do is cause us problems and put us in precarious situations. It's time to pull out the UN. We're going to discuss that today. Let's dive into all these stories today. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new, please go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. Give us a thumbs up. It means the world to us, and it would sure help our channel to keep on growing. We're going to dive into these stories today. Now, before we do, I just want to say we humbly thank you for being a part of our channel. It came out yesterday that Google did do a lot of manipulation with channels and social influencers. So we thank you for staying a part of our channel, especially over the last 4 years, because it has been a hard battle. You know that. You've seen the videos on it. So thank you again. I just want to say that on the forefront. Now let's jump into the stories of the day. First, let's talk about this situation with the Secret Service. I want to bring up this story. Actually, Fox News broke this story first, and it never really got traction. A lot of people didn't talk about this, but listen to this. Secret Service dismantles a threat capable of crippling the U.S. communication system near the UN. So basically you had all these world leaders in one place, but you had the President of the United States in this one place. This guy had all these devices. If you see all these devices laying on the floor in his apartment or in an apartment that they rented, look at this. This was SIM cards and chips that they had. I'm going to try to zoom in on that. This was a bank of network data centers that they found in this place. Look at this, lines of panels of rows of these data banks and SD cards and SIM cards to cripple the United States telecommunications services and wireless capabilities. Now, I've been watching a show on survivorship lately on one of the channels that we watch. And it's really a dumb show, but because there's a plot, it always tries to romance a story, but ultimately the plot is these people are trying to survive. And what people realized is they could easily find food and water, which sometimes they can't. But in this story, they could. But the one thing they were not used to was not having communication with other individuals. And it calls for people to go crazy. Now, I know that sounds unique, but if you look at the hours that you spend on your phone and think about everything that you do dealing with your phone calls and your text messages and your satellite capabilities and getting from one place to the other and using internet and work, if all that was just cut off, how do you think that would impact you? Think of all our leaders. If we could not hear from our leaders, if all of a sudden there was a major attack that we couldn't know about in New York City, because this is where the UN is and this is where they found it, say they didn't bust this and all of a sudden you hear that there was a massive crippling of our communication system. TVs goes off. You know it happened around the UN with all the world leaders. It would be absolute chaos because every world leader with all their main confidants are sitting in a place where nobody knows if the communication is there or not, if the feeds are live or not. So as a prepper, this is one thing that I'm always paying attention to, not only food and water, but definitely communications. I have a satellite phone and satellite texters. I have satellite internet. That doesn't mean these things wouldn't be crippled too. Then all of a sudden you go to things like the different frequencies such as CBs or radios or ham radios. These things are very, very important. So make sure you're putting these things up. I want to read a little bit of the story. It says, listen, this is not set up like in a day or two. This is months in plan. Look, massive network of 300 SIM servers. That means the readers of these cards. Listen to how many SIM cards they have. SIM cards are phones, telecommunications, anything that's getting signal. 100,000 SIM cards were found. It would absolutely destroy the telecommunication systems of America, and it would take down the whole sect of where New York City was, where the UN General Assembly was taking place, where there would be no way in or out when it came to finding out if something was going on in this area. Do you know how much chaos that would cause? We need to pay attention to this because this is how quick you can wake up in one day thinking that everything is good. You're going to go to a work for a normal day. You're going to take your children to school or homeschool like us. You're going to go out and do your normal work thinking you're going to come home and y'all are going to go to a soccer game, a baseball game, a softball game, whatever it may be, and then it's going to start over the next day and think like that in an instant something major could change. We're in that time where people do not like other people. We're in a time where good versus evil. We're in a time versus, the civility and the normalcy and freedom is so threatened. I mean, that should have proven itself over the last 2 to 3 weeks with the tragedy of Charlie. And you don't believe me? Listen, you don't know if this is American born or if this is something else. But here's the next story I want to tell you about. While this is going on at the UN situation, they bust this guy on the other side of the United States in Oregon. Breaking, Antifa has surrounded the federal buildings of Eugene, Oregon to protest ICE. The domestic terror group is posted up at every entrance and exit, pounding on the doors and windows. Sources say the employees are trying to find a way to get out of the building and cannot, or having to find alternative routes to get out. The sad thing is this is going to keep on happening until we learn to arrest and put these people in jail or in mental institutions like that too. We can't just slap them on the wrist and let them go back out there because that's what these liberal judges, liberal mayors, and liberal governors are doing in these areas. And it's all against, we don't like Trump. We don't like Trump. So therefore we have Oregon, closing down federal buildings and can't get people in or out because this group is trying to hurt the people coming in and out in the name of protest. The average American that is over, I want you to listen to this now. I want you to listen to this new shocking study. Liberals, leftist ideology liberals, the people that are 40 years old now, they said are about 10 to 15% radicalized. The people that are 30 years old now are 15 to 25% radicalized. It says the people that are now under 25 years old, from 18 to 25, that are coming up in this leftist ideology has been taught by these colleges and indoctrinated. They said they are 30 to 40% radicalized, meaning we're going to see more violence, and they believe in more violence as they go on pushing their narratives, i.e. what's happening in Oregon. So we see a situation where crippling of our grid or crippling of our telecommunications, which would cause chaos on one side of the Americas. This is why I don't believe foreign leaders should be here. That's why I don't believe the UN should be here. Why do we want to host it? Forget this. Let's just get out of it and make people, if they want to come see our president, they come one at a time, because I think this is way too much risk on our shores in the biggest city of America that is now fixing to be ran by a Muslim guy who does not like capitalism. Now let's go to the north part of America. Listen to what Ilhan Omar just shared. Just shared this. While we're getting threats across America, listen to what your U.S. congressman, we should not call her U.S. congressman, she should be deported, but listen to what she said. She said, I'm here to protect the entrance of Somalians only from inside the U.S. system. They are being held against and threatened, and they need my support. And so I'm here as a Somalian representing Somalia in the U.S. system. She should be banned. I get so tired of hearing all these right woke influencers telling me how bad Israel is, and most of the part, Israel's people that are here are not causing any issues. They're literally living amongst us and have the best neighborhoods and have made some of the best innovations in America. You don't have to agree with it. Some of the Asians, same way. They've made some of the best innovations here in America. But we're allowing these Somalians to come in, and a lot of these Muslims to come in, and they're not trying to assimilate. They're not trying to be part of America. They're absolutely telling you exactly what they're doing here. She literally says she is representing Somalia, not the U.S. So 3 different situations in 3 different parts of the country, and they're all threats that could affect you in some form or fashion. Meaning either your freedom with Antifa to allow you to where you can't have the rights that that we wanted. They're going to lock you into these buildings because you're not believing like they are, and they believe in violence against Americans. Or we have foreign-born people now telling us that their rights are more important than ours, so that means we don't have true representation. Or we have every leader that hates America coming to our shores to tell us that we're wrong, but ultimately there's a major risk that the Secret Service busted that was going to happen that could cripple the United States. That's a lot thrown at you. And this kind of leads me to the UN story. I mean, Trump was coming in. All of a sudden, word was the escalators were down right when he went to step on it. So he had to walk up the escalators. Now, it came out later that there was 2 or 3 people jokingly saying that they could have stopped it, and they may have stopped it, may have not stopped it. So the UN is just a hellscape. It's ridiculous that we trust these people to be the ones leading us into peace in the world, especially when they hate us and hate capitalism, hate freedom, hate us, and hate Israel. It makes no sense to me why we leave them here and why we are even part of this. But let's keep on going. He got up to speak, and his teleprompter started messing up. And I think it's so funny because Trump actually called out the globalist problem and actually called out the situation that the UN is falling to pieces. The escalator and the teleprompter didn't mess up for anybody else, only for Trump. That's just foreshadowing that this man has upset so many people because all he wants to do is give Americans freedom. Prime example. Let's go to the Tylenol thing. I mean, this will be mind-blowing to you because I'm going to tell you what Tylenol said, and they actually backed Trump. They actually backed Trump. Let's go to what Trump and RFK said first. We see that, Tylenol's having problems with autism with children. We see that pregnant women should not take this. We think it's a danger. And remember, don't take something if you don't need it because ultimately this medicine, while it's helping one thing, may be hurting something else. Now, that's what they said. That was the whole gist of the conversation with RFK and Trump and Dr. Oz, Bakari. All these guys are trying to say, look, these things are good if they're used in the right context, but they can cause harm to you. Now, if you go on TikTok or Instagram or any of these other stupid little social media platforms, this is what you're seeing. You're seeing pregnant women rubbing Tylenol over them, dumping Tylenol in their mouth, taking pills. It's so sad that we're so blinded and we hate someone so much. We hate the Trump administration so much, not us, but the liberals, that they're willing to cause damage to their families. And they're like, there's no risk. Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. RFK doesn't know it. They're not doctors. These same people will trust Bill Gates, by the way. But they're not doctors. I want you to listen. And then it was like Tylenol dropped the hammer. And actually it wasn't Tylenol. Tylenol actually was trying to get out of it. But I thought this was the funniest thing in the world because all of a sudden Republicans and conservatives started sharing this post from Tylenol back in 2017. Listen to this. This kills me. Tylenol's official site says, we actually don't recommend using any of our products, not one, while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today. Now, there was people back then that was telling them that it's causing problems. And all of a sudden, Tylenol shares that this is not good for pregnant people. So this shows these random liberal women wanted to cause harm to their children in the name of Trump derangement syndrome. It just blows my mind that we're so divided. That's why I say, yes, I want peace and civility. Yes, I want calmness. I want everybody to love freedom. And we have kumbaya in America. I just don't know if we're there, guys. Between Antifa locking people in, a Somalian telling us they're for Somalia first, world leaders telling us that their way is the right way on our soil, it is unbelievable. And now you have people that are taking medicine just as a spit in the face of Trump RFK, and they're literally telling you what the Tylenol company said. This is the load of manure that these people are squabbling in. This is what they believe. It's the same way when I tell you how the world is coming against Israel now because they're trusting the numbers from Palestinian authorities and other Muslim countries that don't like Israel and the UN, and along with Hamas. That's how they're getting these numbers. So they're trusting a terror group, a group that wants land, and the UN who hates America and Israel. And so now we take it hook, line, and sinker. But you won't take Tylenol at their word to say their product is not good for you. It's so funny how we can be so lazy when it comes to what we want to believe, then we take it hook, line, and sinker. But then when we don't want to believe it, we don't take the facts for what the facts are. Here's another fact for you. Listen to what this doctor said. This doctor came out and just, it's so sad that people just don't understand what's going on. This was shared by Dr. McCullough, but this was actually wrote up by a doctor. And listen to this. It says, 2 studies confirm flu shots actually increase your risk of flu by 27%. Oh, you're like, okay, well, you know, they put that in your right. It's meant to give you that. And it's just low grade. You'll be fine. I want you to listen to this number, though. But other infections, by taking this in your arm, you are raising your infectious levels up to 340%. It means you're at a risk of other infections going into your body, because what it does is it makes your immune drop to crap. And so now you're not only in risk of getting the flu 27% more, you're in risk of getting other infections and other problems 340% more. It says what we don't realize is this new study shows, and he said, I'm going to probably lose my job for it and be canceled. But he said, to be honest with you, what we're realizing is all the people that are putting this kind of stuff in their body is actually making them more at risk to be involved in other long-term medicines and being sick for longer. Let's go back to the Amish story. They found no problems with the Amish village and Amish people because they were not taking this stuff. They found more sickness that were going on with people taking this kind of stuff. I had actually 2 people message me yesterday, and they said, you know, we were against the boosters because what we realized after we took the first one, we ended up getting sick. We ended up having a lot of health problems. And this gentleman said, actually, we would have probably taken more, but we were so sick from the first one that we could not get to the doctor to take the second one. And he said, then all of a sudden we started reading all these stories to realize the problem with a lot of the stuff that we were taking, we were believing in it that it was going to quote unquote keep us safe. And he said all the while it actually made us sick. We have to pay attention that sometimes the things that we talk about and the things that we do, there's some truth behind it. It may be hard truths. We don't want to hear the truth, but the truth is the truth. And when we hear stories that we've heard like today to tell us that, you know, you keep popping these pills because it makes you feel better, what Tylenol and other pain relievers do, they're not taking your pain away, they mask it. So you're destroying your body at the same time that you're masking something that you could work through for the most part and be okay. You know, one thing I've learned is the more that we go through trials, even though we don't like trials, it does make us stronger. If we lose a job, we get title money, we get a sickness, if one of our children has something. As bad as trials are, they end up helping us get stronger through it. I think Trump is a stronger president because of what he's went through. I think a lot of leaders are stronger because of what they went through. I think it's the same way when we go through some of the, headaches and things like that. When we have some inconveniences, when we work through them, it helps us be stronger. I think that's what makes better resilience, better preppers, better independence, and better freedom-minded individuals. But we've been so coddled that we're like little calves or little bunnies or little chicks that need their mama, and so the government becomes the mama, and therefore we allow them to do everything for us and then tell us what we should do and when we should do it. And when we do it, we don't realize that it's actually causing us harm, and then we just are fully against the fact that this kind of stuff could actually cause us harm. And actually what we're realizing now is every bit of the stuff that sometimes are told to us is actually causing us to be more dependent on the government, more dependent on medicine, more sick, and more lazy and waiting for more government handouts. It's so sad. It's like a true sick cycle carousel that we're on. I want to end with one more story. And this is not one I shared in the intro, but I want to end with this because this is probably the scariest thing I've seen in a long time. This is a video. I want to share this video with you. Watch this video.
Yo. Somebody granddaddy is getting tricked. with this software right here.
Yep. And grandma is not safe either. Grandma is not safe because Mr. Johnny is here.
Now, this was made by influencer. I don't know if the African-American guy's a liberal, conservative, I don't know. But this was shared by Don Lucra, which is a Republican and conservative. But if you looked at this guy was sharing, you see he's in the top corner. And his AI generation is making him a young woman that looks nothing like it, and then all of a sudden making him an old man. And basically what you're looking at is, like he said, this is going to cause a lot of problems. You know, if all of a sudden that someone can fake their self on FaceTime as someone else, think of how much damage that can cause in America. Communication's a great thing. We just talked about the fact that if we lost it all, people would lose their mind. But all of a sudden it can be a very dangerous thing. And AI is becoming so much a part of our life that I don't even know if we know what real is anymore. And I'm not kidding. I don't know if we even know what realism is anymore. I think that's why God has done so much with faith and having faith in Jesus. Because we can't see it, we believe in it. We know it's there because of the Holy Spirit. We know that's there because of God, and we believe in that. I think that's what makes faith even more special now, because what we've realized is we can't believe our eyes, we can't believe our ears, because man, it can fake us out in a matter of seconds. What if all of a sudden someone AI'd your daughter or granddaughter or your mom or dad and saying, we're in a bad problem, please help us, send us money, someone's taking us, come to this location, please come help us. We would be panicking and we would do it, wouldn't we? Because we wouldn't realize that's not our loved one. We can't believe our eyes and we can't believe our ears. We don't know what's real anymore. I think that's why it's so important to be wise, have common sense, and more than that, have faith. Because once we start realizing, having faith in things that matter, understanding independence and being faithful to our families and structure and community, we're going to be okay. There's a lot going on. I just told you 3 different things happening right now in America. What are we doing? We have to prep. We have to be smart. We have to be wise. There's a difference in just having knowledge and being wise. I can go to school and learn how to be knowledgeable, but what we learn from school is not teaching us much. They may have a great degree in arts theology, but that doesn't make you wise. We have to have wisdom. Seek wisdom. The Bible says, James 1:5, if we seek wisdom and we ask for it, God will give it abundantly. And I believe this. Let's seek wisdom and try to navigate how to live in this crazy world. And one of those things, the most important, is faith. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on today's video. God bless.